Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Toadeye, and today, scratch that, this is Stellar Toad. Changing my channel name, so make sure you remember that. Stellar Toad. Today I'm going to be talking about holotropic breathwork, or holotropic. Yeah, but anyway, I made a video about this before. It got 5 views in one day, because it was kind of clickbaity, but I didn't explain it well, and also I was calling it hypertropic. And also I thought it was called hypotropic, so just the word itself was entirely messed up in the video, but yeah. Called holotropic breathwork. It was invented by the same guy who helped do the experiments with LSD. So, yeah, same guy invented it. And basically, I'm going to tell you exactly what to expect before I actually show you how you're supposed to do it. And there are a bunch of different techniques, they all work. First of all, you'll start feeling like static, but under your skin, and it'll start vibrating after a while. About 5 minutes in, your whole body will feel like it's vibrating. That's you actually feeling the vibration of your spirit, because you see what the oxygen in your blood does when you oxygenate your blood that much. It basically activates your whole brain to work like it's supposed to really well, okay? And it'll actually decalcify your pineal gland. Holotropic breathwork will decalcify your pineal gland and open your other chakras as well, okay? And as well, if you don't remember your dreams, you will start to remember your dreams. I don't even often remember my dreams that much, but I've been remembering my dreams the more I do this breathing technique. In the last video, I said get high on air, hypertropic breathwork, so I worded it wrong and everything. It's called holotropic, and that's not really what's happening, because it's actually your pineal gland releasing a chemical called dimethltryptomine. And dimethltryptomine is a hormone produced by your pineal gland, and eventually it equates to being serotonin, and then the serotonin turns into melatonin. Okay, so you have this thing, this one gland in your brain that will control divinity, like your third eye, seeing spirits, being able to leave your body, lucid dreaming. It'll control all that with the dimethyltryptamine. It'll also produce serotonin, which will help with not being depressed. It'll help with being happy more. You won't get angry as much. You won't experience as much negative vibrations until your brain says, well, you really need to stop this, what you're doing, because this isn't what you want to experience. That's what emotions are. They're really like sensors to tell you what's okay and what's not okay for it to be happening. And, yeah. So you do holotropic breath work, and you will open your third eye. In about 4 days, it'll probably be 50% open if you only have 1% opened currently. Okay? And you just keep doing it. And I probably have about, I'd say, probably, hopefully, 70% of my, no, 60. I have probably 60% of my pineal gland activated, decalcified. It's an amazing thing, and you'll start realizing stuff that you knew. Maybe you're spiritual. You know there's no such thing as death, really. But once you do this breathing technique, it'll click. Like the neurons will go, and it'll click in your brain. You'll just realize it. It's a profound thing. Okay? It's amazing. You'll start to open your third eye, and you'll start having dreams, and you'll start maybe accidentally leaving your body, or you'll be able to leave your body on purpose. And it'll also balance and fully open all of your chakras. And if you do this for about 10 minutes, oh, that's another thing, when you're doing this, it'll feel like you've done it for half an hour, but really it's only been 5 minutes, because it changes your perception of time. See beyond the third dimension, and it's letting you experience beyond the third dimension because it's opening your pineal gland. There is no time really beyond the third dimension. It's not really a thing. So, yeah. Now, I'm going to actually teach you how to do it. So what you're going to do, you can do it sitting up, sort of, but it's not as easy and it doesn't work as well. So I recommend laying down, flat on your back. You can have a pillow under your head, pillow under your back, pillow under your legs. Be as comfortable as you want. Just make sure you can really breathe into your stomach. Like, not through your chest. That was through your chest. More like, okay, into your stomach. So you're just making sure your stomach extends instead of your chest when you're breathing. Okay, now you can either breathe from your mouth, exhale all the air. Okay, that's how you do it. You're going to let your normal stomach just exhale as much air as possible, then exhale the rest of it. Just make sure you're getting all the air out every time. Okay, you can either breathe through your mouth, out your nose, or through your nose, out your mouth, or you can just do your mouth or just do your nose. It just has to be circular breath, and that means no pauses. You can't be like, okay, more like, okay. As deep as possible, exhale as much air as possible, and what this is going to do is oxygenate your blood, and as I said before, that's going to make your brain and your body start working properly. As well as that, it's actually good for your cognitive ability. It'll heal messed up stuff in your brain. It can, if you have, like, something wrong mentally, it can actually fix that, because it can bring it to surface so you can take care of it. And, yeah, it will open your third eye. And you, at first, only set a timer, okay? Set a timer, because time doesn't work the same when you're doing this. Set a timer for about maybe 5 minutes, and you'll start feeling those tingly sensations. You'll realize, maybe a lot if you don't meditate. You'll realize a little bit if you do meditate quite often. Okay? And then gradually work your way up in time. Because if you do this for 10 minutes the first time, and then, or if you do it for 20 minutes the first time, ooh, yikes, that's insanity. Why would you do that? It'll mess you up in the head if you do that. Well, it won't mess you up in the head. It'll try to fix you in the head if you have issues already. But if you're not prepared enough, it will just, like, it'll basically break your consciousness for a little bit, and then it'll go back to normal, and you'll be like, I'm never doing that again. But that's just because you weren't in the right mental state. So yeah, that's how you do holotropic breath work, okay? Remember, breathe in any way you like, just in to your stomach, because that's the correct way for your lungs to expand. You'll absorb the most oxygen that way. Out through your nose, or out through your mouth. Doesn't really matter how you breathe, in through the nose, out through the mouth, or anything. Just make sure it's circular, there's no pauses in between breaths. You're going as deep as possible, and letting out as much air as possible. And another thing that you might want to do when you're doing holotropic breath work is, you might want to focus on chakras, and it doesn't really matter if you're focusing on the colors, because the colors don't mean anything, neither does the place in the body. A chakra is just a type of consciousness, a set of consciousness. You're in your root chakra, primarily, when you're like a baby, you just trust everyone. It's the consciousness of basic trust. And whatever color correlates to basic trust, that's your root chakra. And so on through the rest of the chakras and their meanings. Except the crown chakra is basically the realization of oneness, which you will also experience if you do this for about 20 minutes. I've gotten up to 20 minutes and it was insane. So, yeah. Oh, and you'll start to see stuff too. You'll start to see static in the air. Okay, my camera kind of sucks, but it is a pretty good representation of what you'll see. You see the static in the air. I don't want to make it focus on my hand, but you see the static in the air? It's there, isn't it? Kind of a graininess. Imagine that kind of wavy. Imagine that as being wavy and also denser in some places than others. And that's the static in the air. That's the energy in the air. The prana, chi, whatever you want to call it. Ki energy. I don't care what you call it, but that's what it is. It's the static in the air. And I've started calling it static, even though I used to call it chi, because static just makes more sense. It looks like static, doesn't it? And that's just my camera. That's not like the actual static. That's just because my camera sucks. But, and also you'll start to see patterns in the sky. I think you might be seeing magnetic fields when you see that. I don't know what you're seeing, actually. But I noticed that after I've opened my third eye, I see weird squarish kind of patterns of static. Looks almost like lightning in the sky. And the static is super thick. The static in the air is super thick everywhere now. I can't communicate what it's like. You're just gonna have to do it. If this video didn't communicate how you do it good enough, then go look it up, go find other sources, because you need to know how to do this. It will open your it's the easiest way to open your third eye, okay? Or any of your chakras. It'll balance out your chakras. And the one thing to understand is you can't have a chakra 2 open. You just need to open all your chakras 100% and they'll be balanced, right? You can't have a chakra that's 2 open. It's not possible, okay? So yeah, this is Stellar Toad. Hey, I said it instinctually that time, Stellar Toad. This is Stellar Toad. If you enjoyed this video, if it made sense to you, leave a like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment telling me what you want me to do next in the next video, because I will research it for a week or 2. And also, I'm not going to make videos as often as I normally do. As I normally did, at least. I'll research it for a week or 2, and after I get it down kind of pat, then I'll make a video about it. Okay, so just tell me what you want me to do next, whether it's martial arts or a spiritual thing, like what I just told you. Yeah, remember, the new channel name is going to be Stellar Toad, even though currently my username, if you look at the date on the video, still says Toad Eye. Goodbye.